Now I'm going to take a real quick step back here and go into the subunit section. Again, this is completely up to you. I would say probably 95% of our units don't use this feature. However, I like to make sure that people are aware of it in case they do choose to take advantage of it. So under the subunits tab up here at the top, you can create subunits within your pack of truth. So in this particular case, because we have a pack, we broke it into different dens. So we have our den 1, which are a wolf den, or den 2, or den 3, which we've labeled as the weasels den. And you can simply add other dens as you want to go through here. The other thing is that you can specify users for each of the dens and what they're able to do. So we can create Sally here, and she can go into the den and put in information for the den. So in a really, really large pack, if you've got really good den leaders who are on top of everything with the sale, you could assign them to do this part. It could be a little bit of a challenge to do, but it's certainly up to you whether you want to do that or not. So we're going to actually go into Sally's den here. Oops, sorry, I picked the wrong thing. Oops, I'm sorry. So this is where we create our subunits, and we can see who's doing what. If we're going to go into Sally's den, we're actually going to go take a look at our scouts here. So we've gone from the subunits tab over to our scouts tab. So if we look at here, we've got scouts here who are unassigned. They're not with a particular unit. They're only with the pack. And then we have scouts down here where we've got Jimmy, who is with the scout in his den 1 with Sally's den. So let's take a look here at Jimmy. So what we can do is we could actually enter Jimmy's whole order into the system. So if we click over here on order form, we're going to get something that looks kind of similar to our order form that we use for the sale. If you really, really wanted to, folks could put in every single customer and every single customer's individual order. For purposes of this, that would take a terrible long time for the kernel to try to do. So what I normally recommend to folks is just to do Jimmy's order if you're going to use this. So we put Jimmy in here, and then we just tally Jimmy's order. He had 5 military sales, 2 silver, chocolate lovers, cheese lovers, 5 unbelievable, 7 lights, 3 chocolatey, 5 of these, 10 of these, and 1 of these. So now we've got all of Jimmy's order in the system. We also need to prove Jimmy's order so that we know that it matches what we need to do. We're going to come down here. We're going to click on Save Changes. And then once we save changes, we can go back out to our scouts. So if we look here, now we've got Jimmy's order. We've approved his order. We know that these are the products that he's ordered, and this is the total that Jimmy owes, but we also know that that's the total that's going to be added to our unit total. So if we took advantage of this, and we wanted to do everyone in the unit, once we've entered everybody individually, we can go back to orders, unit order for take order, and like I showed you before, we take a look at these original scout needs. So what this is going to do is we've got Jimmy's approved order, and it shows us everything here that we're going to need for Jimmy's order. So everything that we put in there, I think, is here or pretty close. So that's sort of how that works. You're welcome to go in there and do that. Like I said, most folks just do a master order, but I'd like to make sure that we go over that so folks understand it. The last section is report section. The report section is pretty straightforward. Pretty much everything here is pretty self-explanatory. The piece that's handy, especially for your unit treasurer, is that you can actually pull your unit invoice for your unit right here. So let's see if it downloads or where it downloads for you. There we go. thinking. Pop over my other screen, see if that's there. There we go. Over. All right, there it is. So it actually will pull up your unit invoice, and so you can see here all the products that we actually submitted in our order to the council. So the pieces with Jimmy that we just did, we actually didn't submit that order, so that's why you'll notice that there's a different prices from what we looked at there. The other reports, if you do subunits, you can take a look at everything by breaking it down by the units. If you put in for individual scout in there, you can actually break it down by scout. Certainly up to you as to whether you want to do that or not. The last part here, my items, this is where you would change any of your accounting administration as need be. So pretty much that is the popcorn system. So the last piece then from the popcorn system is our link over to the prize system. So under orders, same place as where we went to place our show and sell and take order, is there's a link for prize order. And when you click this, it's going to take you directly into the prize system. So once you determine which prizes that your scouts want, you'll be able to log in here. It automatically fills in what pack you're from, and what you're going to have to do here is you're going to have to put in your total online sales, total sales, which include your popcorn sales, includes your candy sales, and includes any online sales you have. So all of those sales count towards these totals for prizes. So you enter in your prize dollars here, and then simply you go down the list and you indicate how many of each prize that you need for your scouts. There is a summary form which we will forward out. If it wasn't in your packet, we'll forward it out probably sometime in October that you can use and start putting together the prizes and help you summarize a little bit easier what prizes you need for what scout. But simply you go through here, you put in your quantities, and then actually you click down here and submit these once you're all done. So that's a pretty straightforward process for how to do the prizes, but it links right out of the Trails In system. Second system that we're going to talk about just a little bit is the candy system. Now, for purposes of demonstration, I'm going to show you, looking at this is the 2014 candy order form. The new 2015 order form for show and sell will actually be available tomorrow, so you can start placing those. And then there'll be a form that looks very similar to this, which will be available later to be able to place all of your take order products for candy. Candy order form is pretty straightforward. You will get this in an email. You're going to link from us in an email that says to go online and place your candy order. You're going to be directed to a page that looks very similar to this. And you're going to come down and you're going to click Continue. And very simply, you're going to put in your information, first and last name, your unit number, your email address, and where you're picking up your candy. So this should match where you're picking up your popcorn as well, so they're all in the same place. Once you've got that in there, it's not going to let you go forward without all that information, so I'm just going to have to pop something in here. All right, so once I've got that in there, I'll be able to click Continue. And then very much like the prize form, you'll have an order form that lists all of our products. So unlike popcorn, you don't necessarily need to know how many containers are in a case. Simply here you say if you need 12 of the Jungle Jacks, you just put 12 in there. If you need 15 of the Naturals bundle, you just put 15 in there. and then we'll make sure that all that gets converted to cases when the final order is placed. But as far as what you need to order, you just plop everything in there. The important thing is here are all these fields are required, so you need to put a 0 in if you haven't sold any of that product, just so that we've got that in the system. Once you've done that, you'll be able to click Submit, and once you click Submit, you should get an email response from us just confirming that you submitted your order. So pretty much the candy order is pretty straightforward. All right. So last thing, so I'm going to see if we can open this in a new window, is we are going to go back to Trials End, and I want to talk just a little bit about online sales. So when you're setting your scouts up for online sales, pretty much the thing that you need to do is direct them to this website. They're going to come up here in the upper right-hand corner, and they're going to create an account. They're going to select that they're a scout. They're going to be prompted to give their birthday. And then for scouts that are under 13 years old, you must include parents' information with parent email address. In most cases, those parents are going to be using the same email address the scout is, but the parent will be prompted for approval to make sure that the parent is okay with the scout selling online. They'll fill out the information that's here, and once they've filled that out, they can sign up, and they'll be good to go. It really takes us through all the components of the online sale and placing the orders. So I guess what we'll do now is we'll just open things up to questions and answer any specific questions that anyone has.